So, tell me something terrible.
I don't need any more gin. I've got my water.
Away we go.
I have popcorn.
Your water that's empty. Your popcorn across the table.
My water's not empty. And then I've got these delicious snacks that I knocked all over the floor and got cat hair on.
Yep.
We're starting out strong.
What more could you ask for?
I only had 3 existential crises today. Crises.
This is the 3rd time we've tried to start this podcast.
It's only the 2nd. I had my one
we tried
already.
to start upstairs.
Look,
the computer has been difficult.
That wasn't a crisis.
We came down here. You had your
My 3rd crisis.
And now we're starting all over again.
Yep.
And I have low expectations.
Thank you.
Let's see if we get past the intro.
I appreciate your vote of confidence.
We should have just kept all those ones. I should have saved them, and then we could have done like the burp and like the the cut sound. You know what
all
I mean?
the motivational
yeah, like when
speeches.
it's like,
and we're like, sweetie, we're already narcissistic enough. We have a podcast. Mm-hmm. We don't need people to listen to what I have to say. And I'm like, no, that's not true.
More people need talked off the edge, not just me. It's a whole generation of us.
It really is. So I've been talked off the edge. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get back to...
taking shots of gin. Oh, wait, that's how we got in this place. In the first...
We're 5 shots in when we haven't drank in a week.
They are like 2/3 shots. So 5 times 2 divided by 3 is 3.3 shots. So we're fine.
In the matter of less than an hour when we haven't drank in a week.
I could have... Whoa.
You got very drunk at a
Work
friend's
Christmas
house.
party was yesterday. We both drank. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Everybody else got mimosas. I was like, no, straight glass of wine. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And then Friday night, I had a little bit to drink. And the reason Andy didn't play Call of Duty with me yesterday is because he was practicing Mario Kart because I kicked his ass twice. And he said, it's never going to happen again. I said,
good luck.
it probably will. Andy doesn't listen to the podcast, so.
But his wife does.
That's fine.
She relays all the messages.
She was there. Everyone saw me celebrating. Happy
They're
dancing.
great. I love them.
Anywho, you should do that thing where we introduce ourselves and say where we're at here.
Mm-hmm. Hi, I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Scott.
And you're listening to Tell Me Something Terrible.
Yeah, you are.
My body's going into shock because I haven't had alcohol. You drank. I had 1 glass.
Anyway,
it's not real alcohol.
Going into shock. You
I'm
just don't
struggling.
eat any food. Anyway, it is now the week of Christmas.
It is.
So Cultmas is pressing on.
It is.
We started with something. Then we did the 2-parter.
Love is 1.
Yep.
And then...
Rajneesh Puram.
Yep. I was going to say Shamrikyo. That was on my list.
Yeah.
But then I found this other lesser known cult and I was like, no. And then I decided...
All in. Anyway.
We need to take a break.
This is the plan. So
it's a lot to process.
This is a 2-parter, but because of the holidays and family obligations, we are going to release this one on this Tuesday, and then the next one on whatever that'll be, the 27th, 28th, the Tuesday after Christmas.
Will we, or we're going to...
What? Yes, that's the plan.
Okay.
We're not recording them both tonight, but we
Okay.
are going to record them this week and then release them
At
the next
some
2
point.
Tuesdays so that we can actually have like a week off between Christmas and New Year's. Anyway,
I did find a fun topic that is Christmas related.
Yes.
That I would like to release before Christmas.
Yeah, we're going to do a live one of these nights in a perfect world. So we'll see. Hopefully that comes
It depends
fruition.
on how many people die in our families.
Well,
We've got some funerals to go to.
Anyway, that's not the case. I mean, it is
That
the case,
time of year.
But we just have to find a night to do it. So keep an eye out on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll probably post that we're going live on probably Twitch. We could do Facebook, but that's...
Fuck Facebook.
Well, no, I would have to redo all of our OBS setup, and I don't want to do that. So more than likely, we will be live on Twitch.
It's not Jeff. Who's the one? Mark Zuckerberg can suck a dick.
It does. Anyway.
Feeling very anarchist right now.
That's fine. And we'll record it and put it on our YouTube also. So it probably won't be an actual audio, like, listen to podcast. It'll be visual medium only. So you have to either catch it live or catch it on YouTube. That's the plan.
Those are the plans?
That's the plans.
Okay.
Anyway, you ready to press on with Cultmas?
Yep. I just write things and then you do with them what you will.
Okay.
Okay.
Normally it's a podcast.
Okay.
But We'll try the visual only and see how that goes over.
Sounds good.
Like a lead balloon.
99 red balloons.
Lead balloon.
Did you know that 99 red balloons is about bombs, right?
I thought you were going to say the Holocaust, so no. I was thinking of...
No, it was Cold War bombs.
I was thinking of Schindler's List.
Maybe we'll do 99 lead balloons.
Or red balloons. Which one is it?
Both.
Okay.
It was Cold War.
Burr.
We'll see. It was that time where the whole world was waiting.
This is gonna be
It was that time where the whole world was waiting between the U.S. and Russia who was going to drop the bomb first.
Yeah. It's like getting a new relationship. Who's going to fart first?
It's you.
Yes.
He crop dusted me.
As you do.
So, yeah, I guess we'll get started on our third, probably final cult of Cultmas.
Okay.
So, a lesser known cult. I've never heard of them. I've listened to lots of podcasts, so I was excited to delve into this.
Okay.
Ready to get started?
I've been ready.
Okay. So,
Did you tell by my yawn?
I'm so excited right now.
Okay.
That energy.
I've hit
Keep
a
it
fever
up.
pitch.
So, a little backstory first. The first fully vegetarian health food restaurant in the United States opened in 1969, owned by a retired WWII vet turned follower of this influential Eastern person named Yogi Bhajan. So the owner of the restaurant, his name was Jim Baker, and he called the restaurant the Source Restaurant.
Okay.
He'd actually owned a couple of restaurants in LA before this, but this was his like baby. So it was frequented by Hollywood elites such as Marlon Brando. Mm-hmm. Okay. Warren Beatty.
Okay.
These at least sound semi-familiar,
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say, I know that name. I don't know what he was
You'll
in.
know this one. And John Lennon.
Okay.
Okay.
He's a Beatle, in case you're behind the times.
He got assassinated. Don't worry. It's on my to-do list.
Yep.
So in 1970, Jim decided that he would no longer follow the teachings of Yogi Bhajan, that he felt called to start his own following, and so Jim started hosting morning meditations at the Source, drawing in the young listless hippies of the time, giving them a place to work, a much needed semblance of family and security, and spiritual guidance.
Perfect.
I hope I'm not slurring too much.
You probably are.
We've had like 5 shots.
We already went over the math. It was like 3.3.
Anyway.
I did some cross multiplication and divide for everyone.
Fractions.
Yes.
They're hard.
Not really.
2 plus 2. After that, you lost me. Studied art. So the cult was a mashup of Judeo-Christian traditions with elements of Native American rituals, Eastern mysticism, pagan rituals, and theosophy, centered around...
Theosophy?
Look, I didn't Google it. I should have. I didn't. So semi-shallow dive.
That theology and philosophy had a weird baby and it's called theosophy?
Why not? Google it.
Because philology just didn't roll off the tongue as well.
It did not. That sounds like you have a lisp.
Yeah. Or you have a disease. Sorry, my philology's acting up.
It's like the worst cousin of leprosy.
I was going to say a philatides, yes. It's philology. Yeah, it's his that was his first wife.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So he sort of packaged this all into one cult, religion, and it was also centered around drugs, sex, and rock and roll. Because this
was vegetarianism.
Yeah, it was the 1960s and 70s. So the entire ideology was trying to drive home the fact that everything is sacred. Members were usually recruited through the Source restaurant, entranced by the healthier lifestyle and the beautiful people. Eventually, more and more people joined the regular 4 a.m. meditation meetings, fueled by guided lectures, breathing exercise, and lungs full of the, quote, sacred herb.
Is that marijuana?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much. So.
It was between that and oregano, but yeah.
No.
It didn't seem very Italian. So.
Taking hits of oregano.
Cilantro?
Ooh.
Did you say you were in LA?
Yeah, getting
yeah.
real spicy. Maybe throw some like red pepper flakes in there.
There you go.
So they would listen in rapture to Jim Baker talk about whatever religious ideology.
Could you have a whiter name, sir?
No, he could not. He was even a vet of World War II.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
He literally, he was like, oh, I mastered jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu.
Look, alcohol, lots of syllables.
He mastered jiu-jitsu?
Yep.
Did I get it?
He claimed that he shot down fighter pilots, all different sorts of stuff.
Using his fists.
Yes. No, guns. His fists, on the other hand. There was a record of him getting it on with some chick who was already with some dude, and blows came to blows, and he allegedly already murdered someone at this point.
Blew a dude? Sorry.
No.
Okay.
With his fists, not that way.
Hey, whoa.
Shameless plugging. To the next level.
Anyway, can you go on with your story before this just keeps going farther down this side alley?
Just wait.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Good.
So they would then listen in rapture to Jim Baker talk about whatever religious ideologies piqued his fancy that day, picking and choosing different aspects of different religions to weave into his teachings. Okay. So he just was like, this is an interesting thing, and then Buddhism, and then
he was trying to be that melty pot thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And it gets worse.
Fondue was huge at that time, so.
It really, do we have a fondue set still?
We don't. We've never owned one. So I don't know why you said still.
Okay, I feel like my mom, it's because we were at Sharon's house, and she was like, do you want this fondue set? And I was like, no, I don't want people at my house. So
I don't want to share communal cheese. Mm-hmm. You see how that's weird, right?
So anyway,
COVID era communal cheese.
This was 6 months prior to COVID, but
still.
Also yes.
Yeah, still.
We know how communicable disease works. So no,
you
thanks.
can't even eat bread, so you'd be terrible at a fondue party.
I really would. Meat and cheese. Yum.
Ooh, check out this gluten-free bagel. Let's dip it in some weird Americanized cheese.
And then it turns into this weird stodgy mess.
Yum. What about a chocolate fondue?
Yes, because you don't cook things in
strawberries.
So cheese fondue, you're literally an oil fondue. You're supposed to get it hot enough that you can literally cook the meat and stuff.
What?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
And so I wasn't a big fan, but chocolate implies that whatever you're dipping it into is already pre-cooked.
Okay.
So I'm game for that.
You're pretty much what do they call that? When do you cook a lobster tail and the fat? What do you call that?
I don't know. I don't cook anything.
It's not basting. What's the name of it? Oh, it's gonna bother me. Anyway, you keep going.
Okay, you Google it.
I'm not gonna. I don't even know how to Google that.
I don't know. Good luck and Godspeed. So Jim developed a list of commandments. They believed everything was sacred.
Confit, like duck confit.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So they believed that everything was sacred, this group of people, every human down to the food that was on their plate. So, quote, you could do anything as long as it's kind. And that spirituality is communication, it's communicated through individuals and not institutions. So they centered around the idea that an individual could attain God consciousness through this lifetime. So they partook in healthy vegan and vegetarian lifestyles, and each man had a woman, and that they were one.
Okay.
And they also had an aversion to medicine, doctors, especially blood transfusions, a la Jehovah's Witness style.
Okay. I didn't know that about Jehovah's Witness, but that's fine.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do, you're not supposed to cuss.
Well, I know that, but
and there's only
I didn't know the blood
transfusion. There's a finite, no, they don't accept any life.
Finite people into the
and
seems very cutthroat.
Yeah, and they just keep they're knocking on people's door trying to recruit new people that they just have to compete with.
Yeah,
it just seems very MLM and not applicable to being saved by Jesus.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion. Teach their own. Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Except for this.
Except for whatever path we're going down.
A cult. So Jim was also adamant about maintaining an archive of every aspect of the cult, eventually promoting one of his female followers, later known as Isis, to the position of archivist.
Okay. So it's well documented.
Very much so.
I feel like it's going to come back to bite Jim.
Nah.
Nah.
Nah, whatever. He's dead. Who cares? So she was in charge of videotaping, recording, photographing every aspect of the commune, his lectures, their meditation sessions, and their eventual band, the life, births, and deaths of the cult.
Okay.
So the group eventually grew to 140 to 150 core followers. All of them changing their names legally. Like they went down to the Social Security office and put in not permits, but like petitions, whatever. They
Filed.
they put in documents to change their names, all to exactly what you think they would be. Would you like to take a guess at some of their names?
No, I have no idea.
You can't think of any hippy dippy names.
I mean, not really. Besides like peace and love. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So there's Heaven, Orbit,
Orbit?
Sunflower.
Like the gum?
Yes.
Cool.
Just got to clean out that dirty mouth.
Yeah.
Sunflower,
Lovely.
Harvest Moon,
Okay. Little anime-ish.
Galaxy,
Okay.
Prism,
These are like far out names. Bro.
Electricity,
Okay. Now we're...
Magus.
These sound Pokemon-ish too.
They do.
Magus?
Yep. So it's funny that you said far out because there's actually, I actually think it might have been Magus. There was a follower, Magus. I don't know. Look,
Like Animagus?
I don't know. It's
Okay.
Magus.
This Magus sounds... I think it's Magus.
He left the cult.
Oh, it's a dude.
Yes. This
Cool.
man actually, Magus, however you say his name, he's fully
We
left.
just call him Gus.
Gus left the cult.
My Gus.
So he got sucked in during his like collegiate years.
During the blow-by-blow?
Yes.
Sorry.
Literally,
That's a terrible joke.
one of Magus's professors.
We call him Gus.
He went to Harvard.
Okay.
Gus did. One of his professors was Tim Leary.
Okay.
The drop-in, tune-out, LSD, beginnings of MK Ultra.
Okay.
Tim Leary. Yeah, Tim Leary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that guy got sucked into the cult.
Fun.
He wound up being like, my kid almost died, yo. Peace. So I lost my spot. Because I'm going on a tangent. So a lot of these people
Change your name.
change their names
Yep.
to like these outrageous names. And then after changing their first names, they also took on the new surname of Aquarian.
Is this the age of Aquarius?
Pretty familiar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of their middle names were the.
The?
Yes. So on their new legal names, it was like Sunflower the Aquarian, Magus the Aquarian,
Okay.
Harvest Moon the Aquarian.
Cool.
Cute, huh?
It's terrific.
So Jim Baker and his followers became known as
Jim the Baker.
Jim the Baker. They became known as the Source family. So Jim was their earthly spiritual father.
Okay.
Yep.
Naturally.
And his 19-year-old wife, Robin, a.k.a. Oham, was their mother. This motherfucker was born in 1922.
And so in 1969, he was 47? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he married a 19-year-old.
Aggressive.
Look, we're not, like, I don't want to be like, yucking your yum or being like, at least she's legal.
Yeah.
But also, sir, you're 2 generations apart at this point.
It's a bit of a stretch.
What do you have in common?
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
So, as his group of dedicated followers grew, Jim came to the realization that all of them should stop wasting money on individual rent or living, join together, and start communal living, like a communal living experiment.
I mean, that's Cult 101.
Yep.
So, yep.
So the group pooled all of their money and resources and rented a mansion in Los Feliz in Southern California. So the Source restaurant continued to be successful, pulling in an estimated $10,000 a day in sales.
In the 60s?
In the 60s. Late 60s, early 70s.
Okay.
Yep. So this wound up supporting the commune.
It could support a couple communes, I'd imagine.
Yeah. And at the mother house, which was the house that they rented in Las Feliz, is where the first child of the cult was born. The youngest follower, who was a 15-year-old female named Heaven,
Okay.
she had started working at the Source restaurant at age 12.
Some weird child labor stuff there that probably should be addressed. But
Sure. She gave birth to the first child of the commune. It was a fully at-home birth. Icy's recording the entire thing because she's the archivist. Mm-hmm. So after 22 hours in labor, everyone knew something was wrong. You could just feel it.
That's a bit extra, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So as Heaven finally gave birth, the baby boy was stillborn, and his cord was wrapped around his neck thrice.
That's not good. Mm-mm. I mean, once would be bad. Mm-hmm. 3 times is probably worse.
That's why our child was a C-section.
Yes.
Her cord was wrapped around twice.
It's weird what doctors can come up with.
Yeah, like ultrasounding and stuff.
Strange.
Go figure. So Father Yod, because that was eventually what he was known as.
Yod?
Yod. It was spelled Y-O-D. It was pronounced Yod.
Okay.
It's his self-given name.
Rhymes with chode. Mm-hmm. Fitting.
So he picked up the baby, spoke a prayer to God, and breathed into the baby's mouth, and the child cried.
Okay.
And so now witnesses were even more solidified in their beliefs that this man was a conduit of God.
Okay.
Because he brought this child back from death.
I'm surprised it's not Yod. Like, I feel like he'd want to be that close. Like, his name would rime with God.
Look, I don't know. The guy was on lots of drugs.
Just Yod it is. Okay.
Yep, Yod it is. Since medical attention was frowned upon, this isn't where the medical and child neglect stops. Many left the group at this point when people would get sick and were not allowed to leave to get medical attention. One baby was finally taken against Father Yod's will to a hospital because of a staph infection that was so bad it nearly killed the child, which of course was then reported to authorities. So like City Hall and building inspectors
Did they try lavender?
It's tea tree.
I had to throw some essential oil shade in there for you.
And that's why I got all like, and then, sir. Like, excuse me. Wrong essential oil. Tea tree and bergamot.
Okay. I didn't know which ones were the antibiotics.
Those ones.
Okay.
They're not.
I know.
They're there to treat the symptoms, not the issue.
Not the actual staph.
Yeah. Like peppermint. Oh, wow, I can breathe better. Yes, but you still have pneumonia. Like, sorry.
Here's a Band-Aid. You're going to die.
So, eventually, Magus, Magus wasn't the one with the full body staph infection. Magus's son had an ear infection and a fever of 104, and he had to sneak him to the hospital, and that was when he became like fully disillusioned. He was like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And stepped out. So there were a lot of authorities that were keeping tabs on what was going on with the family, and then followers started to leave. One follower said that it was a constant roller coaster ride. If you weren't there, you would miss any changes that happened. It's that frequent.
Okay.
Meditations, because he would have those every morning.
Yeah, 4 a.m.
Yes.
I heard, yeah.
And that's how he attracted a lot of people in the groups. Like, he would put out this big, like, he'd advertise that they were going to be having meditations, and a lot of people that were interested, because it's the 70s, free love and all, were like,
exploration.
Yeah, they were like, oh, let's go check these out. And then you're just surrounded by this sort of glamorous lifestyle. They were like, oh, I want in. And so that's how he collected followers initially.
Yeah. In the Kobe's wants a pot in the air.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, back then we didn't eat it. They just smoked it.
Yeah, really brought you in.
That and the lead poisoning.
Yeah, why not both?
Why not both?
Right.
So you had a constant roller coaster ride. If you weren't there constantly, you would miss any of the changes that happened. Meditations grew ever more wild. So they were frequently they would stare into the sun until their eyes were fried. And then ceremonial magic then left people convinced that they could see vampires.
Ooh. Just out and about, shining, glimmering in the sunlight.
Mostly it was like in their house, and then like you'd see them like come. They said they would come down the stairs and stuff. It couldn't be the drugs. And then,
or the spots you were seeing from staring in the sun. Yeah.
Not only would they stare into the sun, they also would stare into the moon until their vision went blurry, and they would visit a place called the Hall of Amante, which is a mystical place in the center of the earth.
Everybody with the earth, center earth, like, yeah.
Lumeria, Halls of Amante.
Yeah.
Amante. Yeah, it's crazy. So this also became too much for a lot of people, and some people started to, what's the word? Not disenfranchise.
Take the red pill? Opposed to the blue pill? I don't remember which pill's which.
It doesn't matter. It's all made up, and everybody's crazy.
And the points don't matter.
No, it's, oh God. I get to it. I know I used this word at some point. It's not disenfranchise. It's not disencrust. That is also very wrong. That's aesthetics.
Is it be woke?
No, it's what a lot of Christians do when they leave the church.
Not disenfranchise?
No. It's very similar to that.
Anyway.
Doesn't matter. We'll get to it.
Yep.
And I'll be really excited when I see it.
Yeah, you will.
Mm-hmm. So, this is also when Jim Baker became known as Father Yod, or also Yahweh, or like, what's the shortened?
Yahweh.
Yes, Yahweh, if you took the vowels out.
I think that's God is with us.
Sure, why not?
One of those.
Yep. You're going to know better than me. I was raised as a heathen.
Yeah. Yahweh, for me, no way for you.
Exactly. So, this is also where he decided that he would no longer abide by the sixth commandment that he put forth for the group already, which was that man and woman are one. Just like one man, one woman in one unit. He told his wife, Robin, who was already married and they already had a child with her, that he would now take on spiritual wives.
Like dead people?
No, like followers.
Like walking, talking wives?
Yes.
Okay.
So he chose 13 wives, 14 in total when you include Robin, all ranging from ages about 16 to mid-20s.
Okay.
Yep. So they...
It's a good look.
Yeah. So they were all honored to be in a marriage with their earthly spiritual father.
Getting that Yod Chode.
His aunt...
What?
That's so bad.
He's in his 50s. Come on now.
He's taking that blue pill.
Right?
And so his entourage would garner a lot of media attention as the group would go about LA and Las Feliz. Feliz?
Feliz.
His father, Yod, he was surrounded by young women, all in white robes, or like whatever dress he felt like they should wear based on whatever spiritual teaching he was reading at that time. Since he kind of flitted from one to the other.
Seems like the worst prom dates ever.
Yeah. Yes.
Like just one guy in like a corsage and like 16 or 14 chicks next to him all wearing the same dress.
Pretty much. And some of the B-roll, they were like walking across the street, like traffic stopped, and like one chick was like actively breastfeeding as like a group of other chicks were walking, because they had a ton of children, because he had a ton of wives, and they were all about like sex and rock and roll, so there was a lot of procreation.
All the wet nurses. They all are.
Pretty much.
Yes, like a whole football team worth.
At least.
Terrific.
So he would just, walk around the neighborhoods with his entourage of young women, his long...
His gang of breastfeeders.
Yes, his long gray beard and hair flowing in the wind.
Majestic AF.
Yes. And
this is like a Gandalf orgy.
It really is. Or like... on top of that, he would also garner a lot of attention when he would pull up in his white... I'll give you one guess what his car was.
Convertible Cadillac.
It's a callback, yo.
Oh, is it a Rolls Royce?
Yes, it is.
Nice. This is about the same time period, isn't it?
It really is.
Man, those must have been hard to come by.
Yeah. So, I guess the yogi that he was following, not Bhagwan, Bhajan, at the beginning, he was a big fan of Rolls Royces as well.
It must be Indian. Like, it must have like some sort of cultural seed, like
yes,
there, and then it just...
Well, This guy's not Indian.
Yeah,
but
he followed
his
a
follower,
yogi,
yes,
yeah.
was. So apart from the beard and the hair and the Rolls Royces and the young women, he garnered a lot of media attention.
Okay.
One of his mini wives said that
Many?
many. He's mini wives. That's a cute term for
For
child
wife?
trafficking.
Yeah.
No, many wives.
Okay.
Said that everything was open and all women gave each other space when it was their turn to be with Father Yod.
Nice. Creepy, but nice.
It gets worse.
Okay.
Even when there was a room full of other wives.
Oh, so they all backed away 4 feet and made a weird circle like there's a fight going on.
Mm-hmm. Except they were fucking
They're all
instead.
they're all on the sand line screaming fuck, fuck, fuck instead of
Yes,
fight. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So all of them were...
It's a great visual.
Yeah, all of them were allegedly fine or disassociating, whichever,
Yeah.
Except for one. One wife had a problem.
Robin?
Maybe.
The OG?
Yeah.
It's always the original wife. The real
What's that mean?
Real pains in the ass.
What's that supposed to mean?
When you try to get 14 other wives, there's always one salty one, and it's the first one.
What is that supposed to mean?
Just saying. We're pretty established. If I tried to garner 13 other wives, who would have a problem with it? Probably the one before the 13 other wives.
Yeah, my dad owns 5 acres and 3 of them are swamp. So
Right? Bitches be disappearing.
get some lime, some of those what's the marigold, the swamp marigold?
Just get pigs.
Pigs? Yes.
Yes.
Oh. Robert Picton?
Yeah, we've talked about him.
He's on the list.
I thought we've done him.
No. The pig farmer in Canada?
Oh, no, we talked about him with Jamie and Beth.
We did.
That's right. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
No, I've heard that one
He's
before.
a classic that we should cover at some point.
Should we?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Don't Google it, guys. We'll get there.
Feel
Have
free.
faith. So Robin was super upset.
Yep.
When Father Yod told Robin that he would be taking on more wives, she told him, quote, "I think you are a dirty old man on a lust trip."
She's not wrong.
No, not at all. So after this tenant was...
He wasn't going after 50-year-olds with wrinkly décolletés. He was going after the young ones.
Yes, he was. I think literally, the archivist actually was his oldest wife, and she was in, I don't want to say upper 20s. She says upper 20s, but it was really 25 or 26.
She really should have named
She was the
herself
oldest.
Joan of Archivist. She really missed an opportunity there.
They were missing a marketing team.
I tell you what.
They could have been.
She probably was the marketing team, so...
Look, okay, I'm not going to lie. As someone who did truly study art and photography, and it was amazing. Some of the B footage on this documentary that I found, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
A little disturbing, but still beautiful.
Yeah.
So she was talented.
Yeah. With tinges of cruel and unusual. Yeah.
Yeah, that the American Gothic, circa 1970s.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe. So after this tenant was instated that you could take multiple wives, even more people fled, especially ones that were already happily married and had a family.
And was worried that we're going to start being weird wife crossovers.
There was.
Yeah, and they're like, I'm out.
Yeah, there was a lot of reassignment of
yeah, it's just a big
others.
Spider web of marriages.
Yeah. Spiritual marriages.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
A spider web of spiritual marriages.
Yep.
Yep.
And so with this sort of build up and culmination to the shift in the cult, this is where we're going to leave you with part 1.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No dead beavers? It seems kind of anticlimactic.
We'll get there.
What?
Not the beavers.
Okay, I was going to say.
Just the climax.
So we had a Rolls Royce. Are we seriously doing beaver puree again? Because that would really confuse people if we had the same title for 2 episodes.
No, but there is Hawaii.
Okay. There wasn't a ton of Hawaii last time.
Not the
I feel
last time.
There's a lot more Hawaii.
2 times before.
Oh, okay.
With the Lamera,
Yeah.
the Lemuria on the center of the earth,
Yeah.
and love is one.
Lumiere.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So there's a lot of callbacks. I didn't mean for
It's
this
because
to...
there's literally a cult playbook.
Yeah.
There's a 10 commandments of being a cult. The
Yeah.
first thing is make the 10 commandments. Give me all your money.
Yeah, I didn't mean for this to
My
be...
wives are my wives and your wives are my wives.
Yes, I really truly didn't mean for this to be this much integrated to the last 2 cults that we did. I just started reading and was like, oh my God. 10 Commandments, Hawaii, Rolls Royces. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Serendipity, yo.
That was peace, love, and rock and roll.
Yep.
Come on now.
Big fan.
Yeah, you just got to have enough capital. You're fine. Away you go.
And he did. He did have enough capital.
At least he was a legit businessman before all this.
Uh-huh. He actually did own multiple restaurants beforehand, and then he opened the Source, and it just kind of was like the jumping board from there into his cult. So
yeah, he turned a vibe of a restaurant into a lifestyle.
yes. Well, he started initially he was a World War II vet. He literally there's already records of assault and possibly murder. He definitely probably killed people in the war, and then he found Yogi Bhajan and just sort of turned into this spiritualist
vegan hippie thing.
Yes, and then he opened the Source, and then he met Robin, and it just kind of springboarded from there.
And then 13 wives later, you're in a cult. Yay.
You're leading a cult. You're not even in it. You're
true. Yeah. You're the face of a cult.
You are.
That's fun.
And then we'll pick up from there.
Next week.
Yeah. Or this week. We don't know.
No, we'll record it this week, likely.
Yes.
But it won't come out till next Tuesday.
Life's been crazy this holiday season.
Correct. Which is for everybody. So you probably wouldn't even have time to listen to 2 episodes this week.
That's true.
Because y'all are wrapping gifts and...
Or they're going to be really upset because they
eggnog.
don't have... Ooh.
Hey, here's an idea. If you've listened to every episode and you're just itching for another one, go be a Patreon supporter.
Yeah.
There's
5 more.
Is there 5 or 6 now?
I don't know.
I think there might be 6 backlog there.
Maybe by the time this is released and you've done your research.
I write them all, so they're horrible. No, I'm just kidding. They are long because someone likes to interrupt me when I read.
What?
What?
Nonsense.
She's like, I'm the star of this show, asshole.
Not true.
No, but I don't pick such sad topics. I like fun topics.
Yeah, they're a little more interesting.
Less people die.
Only one person dies in this cult, too.
Typically, less people die.
Yeah. I was going to do Heaven's Gate next and the whole cult dies, but I thought I'd be a little lighter with only the leaders dying.
Just warm us up for next Cultmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
And if you've made it this far,
Congrats.
we appreciate the heck out of you.
And Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or whatever you...
Or Happy Cultmas.
Yeah, whatever tickles your Peter. No?
Oh, yeah.
I was setting you up for a shameless plugging.
We're not gonna plug Peters. That would sounds painful.
Whoa, that's like a catheter.
There's a thing called sounding. Have you looked it up yet?
Fuck no.
All right, that's what we're doing after this.
No, we've talked. This has been brought up in the periphery before, not by you and I, but you've talked about this around me before with other people. Hell no.
I'm just a wealth of information to make people cringe. That's my whole goal in life, is to make people go oh my God, why am I friends with her?
All I have to do is talk to you about weird Amazon parasites under your skin and you'll be all skeezed out. Yeah.
And then I'll be like, so there's this thing where you shove things inside of your penises?
Stop. See, this is what she does. She does spoiler alerts and she stops. She never knows when to stop when things are just cringe-worthy. I almost said cringe, but I'm not young enough for that.
No. We're in the wrong generation.
Correct. No, we're in the correct generation. We're not in the wrong generation. We're in a different generation. Anyway, everybody's generation is the correct generation.
Except for the boomers. Fuck those guys.
Whoa.
Whoa.
For all...
Nobody that's listening is a boomer.
Yeah, we don't get age demographics.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thanks for listening. Enjoy your... Hopefully you get a long weekend out of it, no matter what you celebrate.
Yes.
Enjoy that. Smash some eggnog. Heavy on the rum? Is that what you put in eggnog?
Sure, you can put whatever the fuck you want in eggnog.
Just don't serve me any because it's got the word...
Maybe not whiskey. That actually might curdle.
I just don't want anything with the name...
Nog in it.
Yeah, or drink egg. Not a big egg drinker.
You can warm it back up if you're worried about it.
Now it's even worse. Anyway, thanks.
Now you know how I feel.
I'm about to just walk off.
Slimy warm stuff.
I live here and I'm about to walk off. All right. See you guys later. On that note... goodbye.
Happy holidays. Oof, that was terrible. Thanks for listening to our terrible podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at TMSTPod.
And if you'd like to support the show, you can find us on Patreon at Tell Me Something Terrible.